Good morning, friends. Today we're going to be doing two things. The first is I'm going to be coating the roof of my box truck with an elastomeric coating, which will help reflect the sun's rays and keep temperatures down inside the box. And additionally, it will help seal up any leaks that may exist. Second thing we're going to do is the box truck, when I purchased it, the end caps on the top on both sides were broken. And so we're going to go ahead and replace those. Get this thing completely weather tight so that we can start to move on to the fun stuff. The wall panels, the flooring. Now, full disclaimer, I filmed this video over multiple days. You might notice your boy got a haircut. So, in the beginning of the roof coating video, I have crazy bushy shaggy hair. And now I got a clean cut. Sometimes things get a little crazy, especially when you're a nomad, just living out in the forest, living in one box truck, building another box truck. I mean, what do you want from me? I'm only human.
Hello friends, it's Nomad Brad coming to you from my box truck. We're doing another project today. Here's what's going on. We're gonna coat the roof. I'm gonna use this Henry's 100% acrylic extreme elastomeric roof coating. It is rated for aluminum roofs, and that's what I have up there is aluminum. So the first step is I need to go up on the roof and wash everything down. The roof is pretty clean in general, so I'm just going to use a light diluted bleach solution. They talk about that on the label here. So the first thing I'm going to do is wash the roof, and then we got to coat it. Now, unfortunately, we're in Arizona. It's hot. It's only 8:30 a.m. right now, and it's already super hot. The roof is like hot to the touch, and it says on the can, if it's too hot to touch the roof, it's too hot to apply the coating. So what's probably going to happen is I'm going to have to wash it. I'll wash it now, and then I might apply the coating at night or in the evening as the sun goes down. I want to do 2 coats, so I might have to do 1 coat this evening and then maybe wake up in the morning early before the sun hits, gets up in the sky, and then apply the second coat. So here's the setup we have for washing the roof. We got the sprayer set up right here, 12-volt sprayer. We have 2 5-gallon buckets of water. We got 4 extra gallons to refill the 2 5-gallons. I have the car wash brush, the extra bucket, the bleach, and the water pump goes into a 120-volt adapter, and that's being powered by my Blue Eddy Apex 300. So the first thing I did, which didn't make it into the video, is I just hosed down the roof with the sprayer nozzle and just kind of gave everything a blast of water. That's why the roof behind me is wet. And then the next thing I did is I have this bucket, and I filled it halfway with water, and I just splashed in a little bit of bleach. And so now I'm going through with this car wash brush, and I'm just running it across the whole surface, getting the bleach water on everything just to cut any type of dirt or mildew or anything that might be present. And because it was so hot out, the water was evaporating pretty quickly. So I just worked in like quarter sections. I basically scrubbed down a quarter of it and then went back with the hose and rinsed it off just so that that bleach solution, didn't dry onto the roof. And so I just repeated that for the whole roof. It only took me about 20 minutes just to scrub the whole thing down. And then when I was all done, I completely rinsed the whole thing again with the hose. And you'll notice in this portion, I'm wearing my shoes, which is totally acceptable. I'm working backwards from the furthest edge of the box backwards towards the ladder. So that way I'm never having to step on a portion that I freshly washed. Hello, my friends. It's a little bit windy. It is later in the day. It's currently 6:30 p.m. and the roof has cooled down. Cool to the touch, warm to the touch, not hot. So I'm just gonna pour the gallon bucket right onto the roof and then spread it out. I got a 1/2-inch nap roller and a roller wheel, and it's pretty. I already mixed it up. It's pretty thick. It's really thick, actually. So we're just gonna go for it. That's building the van, man. You just gotta go for it. So let's go for it. And then you'll notice in the next portion when I'm actually applying the coating, I'm wearing socks And so that way I'm just not tracking anything up because it's super dusty up here in Arizona. So any pair of shoes that I would wear would just be putting dust onto the freshly washed roof. Now, when applying the coating, I kind of went in the same format. I did about a quarter at a time, just poured it directly on the roof, didn't use a paint tray or anything, and then kind of spread it out. And it seemed like by doing this a quarter at a time, nothing really got too dry on me, but I could definitely see as I looked back, as I was 2 quarters in, I could see the first quarter was starting to dry. So I would definitely recommend doing a larger roof in small sections like this. And here it is. I used one whole can. The can states it'll cover 100 square feet, and my roof is just a little bit over 100 square feet. I don't know how well the detail is going to show up in the video, but there's definitely some spots here where I just didn't go as heavy as some of the other spots. So we'll definitely come back tomorrow morning and do another coat. My plan will be to come in early, maybe 7 a.m. before the sun comes up and heats up the roof. And we'll use that other can, and that'll be it. So overall, pretty happy with it. It was pretty simple. Look at the sun right now. Beautiful. It's a beautiful view up here, by the way. While I was painting, I was just admiring 360-degree view. There's so much going on. Good morning, friends. It's early. 6:25 a.m. on a Monday. We're getting after it though. So I'm just up here on the roof taking a look at the progress. And so overall it looks really good. It's not tacky. It dried completely. I can see there's a couple light spots here and there where it isn't quite evenly coated. And so we're gonna go back today and hit it again. Now the can recommends you go the opposite direction, right? So yesterday I went side to side with the roller, and so today we're gonna go front to back to kind of hit the other angle. And here it is, the finished product. Very happy with how it dried up and how it looks overall. It's dried into a nice hard texture. The temperature difference is amazing. As I said before, when it was like midday, you could touch the roof and you couldn't leave your hand on it because it would burn you. And after I applied these 2 coatings, even in full sun, you could put your hand on the roof and it was slightly warm, but it was not hot at all. And additionally, because of how thick it was, it turned out when I used the roller and pushed everything edge to edge, it kind of stayed on the edge. So I didn't have a bunch of, liquid that dripped over the side and streaked down the edge of the box. I didn't have to tape it off or anything. So overall, very happy with this product. All right, we're back at it. Back in the box truck. We got Nomad Dad here helping out today. We're gonna be doing a little drilling. So let me show you guys the project. So we have the brand new box corner caps right here. So those are gonna go up top. And then we have an old one up here and an old one over there we gotta remove. And so the process to do that is they got these rivets that are going through the plastic cap into the sheet metal underneath it. So we'll drill out as many as we can from the inside, and then we'll go to the outside, and there's a couple that I won't be able to access from in here, so we'll drill those out. And then this is the power wire for the marker lights in the corner of the box. So I'll have to cut those and then splice them back in when we install the new corner caps. So we've drilled out all the rivets. You can see the daylight shining through. All the ones we can reach from inside the box. And then up here you can see these are all drilled out. So there's a couple we couldn't get to because of the insulation. And so I'm gonna go outside and we'll drill those ones out from the exterior. So here's the outside of the cap. You can see which ones have been drilled through. This one's been drilled, we'll just pop that out, just like that. This one too, that doesn't want to pop out, but it's free. And then you can see down here, these ones have not quite popped through. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill these few out, and then we should be able to pop this cap right off. Look at that, it's already coming off. Easy peasy. All right, my friends, it's quite windy. Hopefully you can hear me, but we got the roof cap complete. We got the rivets down here. These are the couple rivets I had to grind off with the angle grinder. So those are all out. So now all the holes have rivets removed. And so now we're going to be using the scraper right here just to kind of run down and get all this old adhesive off. Kind of like that. So here we are with the new cap. I went ahead and switched over the light fixture. It's just 2 screws to pull it out and secure it into the new one. And then what we're doing is, you know, technically the instructions and the way the old one was installed was with rivets. But I decided, and you can see here this is the new plastic. It has these pre-drilled rivet holes, and those match the holes in the old unit. But I don't have a rivet gun, and so I decided I'm just going to use screws instead of rivets. So I've drilled new holes in between the old holes. So when I drill through the existing sheet metal up here, I should come right between the 2 existing holes. And so that should give me plenty of metal to grip onto with the screws. That's not the recommended way to do it, but that's how I'm going to do it. And so I'm going to use these 1-inch sheet metal panhead screws, and I think they're going to do just fine holding the cap in place. And then once it's screwed down, we're going to caulk it with some Dicor sealant, so I think it's going to be just fine. And here we are. The new cap is installed. You can see there's a little bit of shadow here, but there's the screws that I screwed in and along the bottom. So it looks pretty good. There's like not much of a gap at all on the corners. So now I'm just going to come back with Dicor and try to seal that in, get a nice smooth bead around the corners. And so the roof cap is a little bit bent. The roof cap's a little bent. I think, you know, when they hit a tree or whatever, broke the caps, it bent in this metal. So it's not a perfect, oh my goodness, this camera, stop. So it's not a perfect radius. And so up here, you can see the gap is a little bit bigger than what it should be. So I'll just make sure I put a ton of Dicor down in there, fill it up, but it shouldn't be an issue. Additionally, I need to seal over the screw heads just because they're not, you know, potentially not 100% waterproof. Some of them aren't quite straight. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do that later. That won't be in the video because I want to get some gray sealant so it kind of blends in a little bit. If I put white sealant right on the gray cap, it's going to look a little funky. So that won't be in today's video, but you can just pretend. You can just pretend it's got gray sealant over it. But I will do the gaps with Dicor. Here we are looking at the finished end cap. You can see the white trim there. So here it is from the inside. New corner cap installed. I just got to wire it up here
be pretty simple. And you can see here where the screws came through the sheet metal, the big openings, that was the original pop rivet location. So we just kind of went right between the original pop rivets, but it worked out very well. And one thing Dad mentioned is, you know, because the metal was all distorted, because we used screws, you know, I was able to put screws in and slowly tighten them down. Like this whole radius corner, I just kind of tightened it and then went back and forth. So it slowly sucked this metal up into the proper shape, versus if we would have done rivets, you know, you wouldn't have been able to do that. It would have just went all the way tight, and it might have cracked the plastic or something. So actually, I think the screws were a good choice considering the roof was pretty damaged, and I think we're going to be in good shape. I still got to do another coat of sealant on the outside, probably this evening after the sun goes down, and fill a couple holes, and then also I'm going to caulk the inside. But otherwise, that's it. Cap installed.
So it's good.
Me and Nomad Dad got it done today. We started at what, 7?
Yep.
7? We started at 7. What time is it?
Noon.
Noon.
5 hours to demo that side, demo that, plus add that.
So that was a 5-hour project to remove the 2 corners and then replace them. And I was only expecting a couple, because the other day when we did spray foam, it only took a couple hours to knock it out. So that ended up being a more involved project. But it worked out, and I'm glad I had Nomad Dad here to help, because there was quite a few situations where it was nice to have someone working from the inside while you're working on the outside, and also hand me up some tools. So overall, it was a successful day, and I feel pretty good about it. So I think that's going to be it for today's video. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week. Who knows what's going to happen? We're going to find out together. That's it for me, Nomad Brad signing out. Peace.